One student who's taking the Storyworthy book club has just asked me if I can share some tips on how to get to a very high level of English. So he asked me, how can I get to C2? So what did you do to get to a C2 level of English? Can you share some tips? And I did many things. Because English is not my first language. I'm Italian. I'm an English teacher, and I had to learn English. And my English is not perfect, so I'm not saying that it's perfect. I still have to make some improvements. There are still a lot of things that sometimes make me feel like, what did I just say? Like, there are some words that I still I'm not sure about. I mean, I use them, but I'm not sure what I'm saying sometimes. So it's not perfect, but I worked hard. Okay, I worked hard to learn English and to get my fluency and everything. And I can tell you, okay, I read, I wrote, I spoke, and I listened a lot. Usual, yeah, this is the usual advice. Read, speak, listen, and write a lot. But I was in love with learning English. I was really in love with learning. To me, I mean, I never felt frustrated. I never felt, these negative emotions that sometimes I see, often I see in learners. Like, I'm not fluent. I can't understand. I cannot watch movies. To me, it wasn't, it wasn't like this. I was just having fun, and I was in love with learning, because when I first moved to London, my English was intermediate. I couldn't have, I wasn't, my English was not that good. But then I realized that the more I used it with people from other countries, not Italians, then I realized, wow, I can actually have conversations with these people, and they can understand me. And the more I improved, the more I noticed that I was improving, the more I wanted to improve. And to me, I found joy in learning English, in learning words, in listening to other people, how they expressed their ideas. This was like, it became my number one priority. Also because then I discovered that I could become a teacher, so I could actually teach English, even though I was not a native speaker of English. And that was a new, that was another motivational boost that I got from learning English, from the situation. I mean, if you don't enjoy what you're doing, if you don't enjoy learning English, if you don't find happiness, if learning English doesn't make you curious, and you get this, it's like giving food to someone who's not hungry. Like, you don't want it, okay? But when you are hungry and you want food, you that was actually the feeling that I had. I was hungry. I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn that new word. I wanted to try to use it. So I think it was, to me, that this is a tip that I can give, but it's not really something that you can force. How can you force this? You cannot fall in love with someone. You cannot force love, right? You are either in love or you're not. So telling you, well, to get to C2 level, you need to fall in love with English. It's a stupid thing to say. But you can make it pleasurable. You can make it enjoyable. And to do that, you need to try to have fun with learning English. So do the things that you enjoy doing, but do them in English. and find enjoyment, find pleasure in whatever you're doing to learn. But I know that this is not a practical tip, because this comes from the heart more than the brain, right? So another thing that a more practical tip probably that I can give is to have a clear goal. Have a clear goal. Know where you want to get. And don't worry about the rest. So have this goal. For example, I want to speak English as if English were my first language. So I want to get here to the top. That's a clear goal. And then enjoy the process of learning, and don't worry about the goal, but worry about the process of learning. Okay? You shouldn't be too worried about the goal. You should be worried about what you're doing to get there. Okay? And this is true in anything. It's actually something that I've read in Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits is a great book that can also help you improve your English, because the mindset, the system to build good habits, good learning habits, you can find this system there. And so once you've got your goal, once you're clear about what you want to achieve, it could be getting to the top. It could be I want to become, I want to write good articles about food. I don't know. I want to be able to understand movies without without subtitles. That's, those are clear goals. And then you do your best to achieve it. This is a tip. This is a more practical tip, I guess, than, try to fall in love with English. But if you don't enjoy, then you've got your goal, but you don't enjoy what you're doing, well, then I don't think you should do it. Because the point of doing anything in life is to be happy, right? So if you're not happy with what you're doing, and no one is forcing you to do it, maybe you don't have your boss telling you must learn English because we have, clients from another country and you must learn English. Maybe you don't have that, so no one is forcing you to do it. Well, then don't do it. If it doesn't make you happy, if you're not enjoying it, there's no problem. You will actually feel free if you let go of this goal of learning English. You don't have to. So that could actually be liberating. I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, I've actually written a whole book, and this is actually what I told this student when he asked me this question, because he asked me, can you share some tips? Well, I have actually written a whole book called Any Language You Want. It will be published in June, where I tell everything I did to learn English in more practical ways, because I did many things, but giving you one, I can tell you how to that you have to use dictionaries, that you might need to move to the country where the language is spoken, so you might have to go to London for a couple of weeks. I can tell you to take courses, but those are things that I have a lot of stories, and all those stories are in the book. But the number one tip, what made the difference really was that I was actually very excited all the time when I was learning English. Even listening to people, even listening to two people talking and listening to them, what they were saying, and trying to understand, trying to catch some words. There was a game. To me, it was just like playing a game. I had a lot of fun, and I loved it. So I hope this is helpful. Feel free to ask me any questions, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.